Hello. Welcome everyone. I'm excited that you're here and that you're with me virtually and spiritually. We're going to be stepping into a really mellow, relaxing Yin Yoga class. If you're new to Yin, it is just probably one of my favorite practices. It just helps you chill the fuck out, and a lot of us need that right now. So if you're practicing with me tonight, or if you're just coming to say hello, you are going to need either a yoga block, or you could use a rolled up bath towel or beach towel, along with a yoga strap. If you don't have a strap, you could use a belt. You can also use a shirt or even just a hand towel for tonight's practice. And this practice is going to be about peace, and it's a peaceful practice that is really going to allow you to connect with truth through the experience of the moment, and allowing ourselves to be in what is that moment and whatever comes with it, whatever sensations come with it, whatever emotions or thoughts come with it, and allowing that to enrich the whole entire practice. And within each moment, the string of moments kind of incorporate and connect to the whole picture. And this is a very awesome practice for those of you who do any kind of like physical exercises. It's going to move you into a more deeper practice, kind of going from the physical into the spiritual. So if you're here and you are going to be practicing with me, let's start in a seated pose. I personally like to use a block, and if you don't have a block, you can use the rolled up towel and just place it underneath your bum. And you kind of inch your two sits bones kind of at the edge of the block, and what ends up happening is that your spine draws up and is nice and long. We're going to bring the palms of the hands to face up. If you'd like to allow your index finger and your thumb to come together to touch, do that. And if you're looking to feel a little bit more grounded, perhaps your emotions are feeling a little bit flighty or your thoughts are a little bit flighty, bringing the palms face down, again, option to allow the index finger and the thumb to come together. Taking a few moments here, sinking into your practice, your mat, your body, your heart, and this moment. Throughout this practice, see if you can allow yourself to keep the eyes closed and shift through the poses very slowly. Again, this is a practice that is going to bring about peace. It's going to be very nurturing, and will not only just open up the mind, the body, but also the heart. Giving all of who you are just a little bit more space to be, and to be within your being. Begin to bring your awareness to your navel, and just notice its rise and fall, the depth, texture, quality, temperature of the breath, and where that breath is going. Slowly allow that breath to deepen, filling up the base of the belly, noticing how the navel draws further away from you as you bring the breath into the lungs, feeling the full circumference of the lungs expand, and then drawing that last little bit of air into the heart center, feeling the heart gently lift up. And as you allow this breath to leave the body, notice how your body softens, your muscles soften, your mind softens. Taking one more deep, full body breath, navel, ribs, heart. and let it go. As we move into these poses, practice self-care. Noticing if you need to ease up on the intensity of the stretches, or perhaps honoring your space and knowing that you can get just slightly deeper into the pose. This is a very nurturing practice, a very passive practice, and again, a practice that will bring you from the physical parts of who you are into the deeper ethereal parts of who you are. So as we begin, trust yourself, trust your physical intelligence, your body's intelligence, and move with what feels good to you. When you're ready, taking another deep, full breath in, reaching the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, bringing the hands to heart center, allowing the thumbs to press against your sternum. And taking one more breath in, allowing the heart to press into the thumbs. And perhaps connecting to an intention for tonight's practice, for yourself. Or perhaps someone, something outside of you could use a little bit more peace, love, and connection. And allow that energy to move from you out into the world. If you're sitting on a block or on a pillow or towel, just gently remove that from underneath your seat. And allow the right leg to rest in front of the left. And you might, if you're a little bit more well endowed than myself, you might need to lift up the extra love from underneath your sits bones so you feel your two sits bones grounded into your mat. We're going to take a nice deep full breath in once more, and as you exhale, allow the right hand to come towards your right and gently leaning over towards the right. I'm going to be doing probably opposite of you. And now when we're in this stretch, notice if the shoulder is collapsing towards the ground or if you're opening the shoulder up. And maybe even gaze right at the inner part of the elbow on the left arm and making sure that your left sit bones are still grounded into the mat. Breathing into the left side body, imagining with every inhale, noticing how you gently lift out of the pose and create a little bit more space. So as you exhale, your body melts even deeper into this space. One more breath. Inhale, reaching the left fingertips over towards the left. And reaching the right arm up and over towards the left. Again, finding that happy medium of a stretch. If it's too intense, just gently walk the left hand closer to the left hip. And again, if you want a little bit more or need a little bit more space, you can drop the elbow down onto your mat. And again, ensuring that your gaze is up, which is going to help the shoulder open up. Deep full breath in, lifting up, and with the exhale, getting slightly deeper. Inhale, coming back to center. And as you exhale, bringing both hands out in front of you, and you can rest the elbows down onto the floor if you need a little bit more space. For instance, if your forearms coming down onto the floor is making your sits bones come up, you can bring the block or again the towel to bring the floor closer to you and gently allow the palms to face up. Drop the chin in towards the chest, close the eyes, and find your breath. The yoga practice is a practice that allows you to fall into that space between the thoughts. And in order to do that, your mind can become more aware of the breath by bringing awareness to where the breath is moving in and out of the body, or perhaps noticing the navel, or counting the length of the inhales and allowing the length of the inhales match the length of the exhales. You can also bring your awareness to the sensations that the stretches are providing you within that moment. Giving yourself the opportunity to be completely submerged in what is now. This is the practice of peace. This is the practice of connecting to self and self-care. See if you can allow the upper body to weigh just a little bit heavier. And then on your next inhale, gently bring the fingertips to stretch out in front of you, almost like spider fingers with the tips pressing into Mother Earth. Taking one more breath in, walking those hands all the way over towards the left. And you could take another breath in as you bring the fingertips towards the left, and as you exhale again, melting into the pose. For those who are a little bit more flexy, the right hand can reach over and grab onto the left wrist. Again, ensuring that the right sits bones are still grounding and meeting your mat. And perhaps energetically drawing the right knee down towards the ground. Within these side stretches, allow that breath to move into the right lung. Feeling how as you deepen that breath, the stretch just gently intensifies. Slowly soften, allowing that exhale breath to just leave the body. The practice of surrender is just letting it be. Where you are right now is going to happen either way. So release the thoughts attached to the outcome of this pose or this practice. And give yourself the opportunity and space to settle into this experience. 2 more breaths, deep, full breaths into the right lung. Again, feeling that right lung expand. Noticing if you're forcing, tightening, gripping. Last breath. Gently walking the hands back towards center. Take another deep, full breath in, lifting the body, and then see if you can inch the fingertips just a little bit further. Drop the heart, drop the chin. Maybe gently rock the neck from left and right. Walking the hands back to center. Switching the position of the legs, and this time allowing the left leg to come in front of the right. And again, ensuring that you're grounded into your mat. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. This time interlacing the fingertips so they're clasped with the palms facing up. We're going to inhale, open the heart, gaze up. And as you exhale, round and curl, draw the navel in towards the spine and see if you can release that last little bit of stagnant air that remains in the lungs. Inhale, taking the full length of the inhale to bring the palms all the way up towards the ceiling. Again, gazing up. Exhale, round and curl. Last one here, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, releasing the hands, allowing the left hand to reach over towards the left. Side stretch. Inhale, moving through center, right hand over towards the right. Inhaling, reaching up, and as you exhale, shifting over towards the right. Inhale, coming back to center. And this time we're going to walk our hands behind us with the fingertips pointing towards the back wall. We're going to take a nice deep full breath in. Vocal exhale out as you allow the hips to come up and the gaze to come back. Inhale as you exhale, bringing the sits bones back down onto your mat. Preparing for our wide straddle stretch. If you have a block, I suggest using a block or a towel. If you're super flexy, you may be able to do this without any kind of support, but I highly encourage support. Part of self-care is using what you need, and props don't mean you're not able to get there, they just support you along the way. And in my opinion, they're a little bit more effective in your practice. So same concept that we had in the beginning of practice, putting the block underneath your seat, and you inch your sits bones right towards the edge of the block. And what that does is it helps your pelvis kind of tilt forward, so your spine is nice and long and you're not, scooping the belly here. We're gonna flex the toes a little bit, and you should feel a little bit of a sensation already in the inner thighs. And according to your body and what your body wants, remember, honoring the wisdom of your mind to put your body in this pose, but also honoring the intelligence of your body to get you into the right, appropriate posture for what's going on right now. So slowly walking the hands forward, and maybe in the beginning you just place the palms in front of you and melt the heart, dropping the chin. Breathing into the inner groin area. This is where we hold our vibrance. This is our energetic vibrations of our kidneys, and our kidneys clear our blood, clean and cleanse our body. So allow, as you breathe into this pose, imagine yourself cleansing. The space is available to you. You can walk the fingertips further out in front of you. If you have another block, blanket, or bolster and you need to bring the floor a little bit closer to you, you can place that underneath the forearms and then gently just allow the palms to face up. See if you can soften just a little bit more, noticing if you're holding tension in the space between the eyebrows, maybe the jaw or the shoulders, or maybe the core. Breathing into your core and allowing that breath to exhale to the periphery. Being totally and completely engaged, aware, but also allowing. Surrender doesn't mean letting go. Just as we've shifted and moved into these poses, we moved with intention to get here. And once we're here, we soften. We allow gravity, the weight of our body, and the anatomy of our body to do the work. Noticing that forcing an idea or an outcome doesn't make your life any better. Whether you can touch the floor with your elbows, whether your heart is lying flat on the floor right now, doesn't make your life any better if you get there. What enriches your life is allowing yourself to be completely enveloped and marinate in the moment. It's there the magic happens. It's there that you find the peace. When you practice peace, when you practice more mindful yoga or meditation, every cell in your body responds. Every cell in your body remembers. And the more you do practices like this, the easier it becomes to stay connected to your peace. To allow, to be within the flow of what is. Taking a deep, full body breath, allowing your whole entire body to breathe, your skin, your organs, your mind, and your heart. Expanding. And as you exhale, see if you could release just a little bit more into the pose. If you get there and your body is telling you, not today, honor that. Three more deep, full belly breaths. Each one slightly deeper than the last. And at the end of your third breath, slowly, if figure all the way down onto the floor, gently propping up onto your forearms and taking a breath here. Easing out of these Yin Yoga practice poses is just as important as remaining still in them. So shift slowly, more mindfully, and take extra breaths along the way if you require them. Gently propping up onto the hands, taking another breath here. And then slowly walking the hands towards the groin and maybe rolling out the ankles a little bit here to ease the tension on the inner thighs. And then gently bending the knees, bringing the knees together to touch and giving yourself a nice tight squeeze, bringing the third eye to rest in between the knees. And then gently releasing the pose, removing the block. Coming back, allowing the left leg to rest in front of the right. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, palms down, chin to chest. Beginning to notice what thoughts pop into the mind and allowing yourself to just observe them. Imagine these thoughts being clouds in the sky that you're watching transition into various different shapes and forms. And then gently returning back to bringing the awareness to the breath, to the body. Taking one last inhale here, and exhale, release. Coming on to the fingertips, again, spider fingers. Inhale, and as you exhale, walking the fingertips over towards the right. Again, option to allow the left hand to grip onto the right wrist or the top of the right hand if it's available. And as you exhale, gently folding over the right thigh. Again, ensuring that the left hip is down. Making contact with your mats. And then energetically drawing the left knee down towards the mat as well. Breathing into that left side body, breathing into the left lung, and again feeling how the fullness of the inhale gently lifts you out of the pose and creates a little bit deeper of a stretch here. And the exhale brings you into that space you created with your inhale breath. To begin to sink deeper and deeper into self, into your being, into the subtleties that create and develop who you are. We are not our thoughts. We are not our emotions. We are not our body. We are way bigger and grander. But the mind, The emotions in the body are tools that our soul uses to evolve, to sense, to experience, and grow. And what we choose to do with these tools is how our life evolves into the grand picture, the big picture. Inhale, gently coming up, reaching the left arm up, back to center. Deep, full breath in, exhale, bringing the fingertips again back behind you, and as you exhale, lift the hips, come onto the knees, gaze comes back behind you. And exhale, release. For this next pose, the options that you have, you can use a strap or a belt or shirts. And we're gonna bring our left sole of the foot to rest on the inner part of the right leg. You can kind of gauge which position feels best to you. And if you feel like you're a little lopsided in the rear, just lift that extra little bit of flesh, and again, making sure you feel those 2 sits bones grounded into your mat. Now, once we're here, you're going to energetically draw the left knee down towards the ground. And we're going to use our strap as an assistant. And we're going to loop it onto the sole of our right foot. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and allow the spine to be nice and long. And when we're seated, the kind of cue that I tell people to do is almost imagine like if you were doing a halfway lift, and kind of allow the heart and the shoulders to kind of open up and press forward. Take a nice breath in, and before you lead with the head, see if you could lead with the hips first, then the heart, then the head. So deep breath in, draw the spine up towards the ceiling, exhale, hinge at the hips, then lead with the heart, and then allow the head to come down. Now the purpose of the strap here is to either give you some assistance in getting into the stretch and support, or to deepen the stretch. Now, if you are feeling a little flexy here, go for it. If this is a little too intense, back off a tiny bit. Our hamstrings are super, super tight. So, especially now, if we've been seated quite a bit, being at home. So, be kind and honor where you are. And if you don't want the strap and you don't need the strap, you can allow the palms to face up and give yourself the opportunity to again just melt into the shape of this pose for your body tonight. So deep breath and exhale, let it go. Softening the eyes once more. The jaw, the shoulders. And again, bringing yourself back to the breath. The breath is this energetic exchange that happens within the body, and if your breaths are short and shallow, you're going to initiate your fight or flight response. The heart rate's going to go up, anxiety will build. If the intensity of the stretch is causing your breath to shift in that direction, ease up on the pose. When you allow the breath to be elongated, natural, even, and smooth, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which allows you to fall deeper and deeper into relaxation. Ensure that the pose that you're engaged in is still allowing the breath to be full, even, and mindful. If you need some support on the neck, you can choose to bring a block onto the leg and allow the third eye to rest on the block or perhaps a pillow. And allow whatever's happening to happen. Allow yourself to let go. There are certain things that are out of our control. There are certain things that we can control, and that requires an internal awareness. A shift from the external, dropping into the internal. Knowing that the reality is that the only thing we can truly control is our own actions. Our own words, thoughts, and trusting that if we stick with the space that brings us peace, when we meet that space regularly, that we'd all be living in a better place. If everyone can only take that red peace pill and return to love and the alchemy of the heart, that is the ultimate power. That is the ultimate way to liberation and true freedom. Let everything else just gently fall away. Last 3 breaths. The end of your 3rd breath, if you have a block or a pillow under the head, gently remove that and slowly, keeping the eyes closed, just gently prop yourself up and then walking the hands slowly back towards the hips, extending both legs down the length of your mats, maybe rolling out the ankles. And then bringing the right sole of the foot to rest on the inner part of the left leg. And one side may feel a little bit different than the other, and that's okay, just adjust accordingly. And if you need to use either a block or a towel underneath the right leg, you can do so. Grabbing your strap or your belt, looping it onto the arch of the left foot. And again, allowing this strap to assist you with finding a nice tall spine. Again, taking a deep breath in, allowing the top of your head to reach up towards the ceiling and the shoulder blades down the back and the heart pressing forward. On your next inhale, slowly begin to hinge at the hips, then the heart, and then the head. And again, if you need the strap, you can continue holding on to the strap to help support you. So gently find a comfortable pose here. Once you settle into what feels good on this side, hang heavy and allow gravity to gently have its way with you. Soften the tongue, the muscles in the face, the shoulders. The head. What is the breath doing? Where is the mind going? Come back to the moment. It's the string of moments in the sequence of events that comprise your life. Many of us are so concerned the future or reliving the past that we miss what is and how what is trickles into what can be, what will be. The mind and the universe only know now. When you speak things into existence and when you allow your thoughts to venture off, they're like prayers. Ensure that what you speak and what you think are in alignment with ultimately where you see yourself in that big finished picture. When we rest in the moment, we're resting in love. It's the present of presence. See if you can allow yourself to get a little bit heavier here. Last 3 breaths, deep, full breaths. Drawing in what you need. releasing what you need back into the world. Begin to give more of what you desire to see in your life. Just as the breath is an exchange, a give and a take, that same cycle occurs with all things in life. When you're ready, after your third breath, slowly, gently propping yourself up, bringing the palms onto your mat, and then walking the hands back towards the hips. And again, lengthening both legs down the length of the mat. Taking whatever organic movements feel good right now. Maybe bending the knees feels good. And then actually let's bring the soles of the feet together to touch. And if you want this pose to be a little bit more intense onto the inner thighs, you can bring the heels closer towards the groin. If you want this stretch to be a little bit more for the low back, you can bring the soles of the feet away from you. And then when you're ready, again, lifting the heart, finding that nice long spine, leading with the hips first with a flat back, and then allowing the heart to fold. Now you can bring the block to rest on top of the feet, to bring your forehead down on to the block, pillow, or towel. And then you can allow your arms to go underneath your shins with the palms facing up. So this is a receiving practice. So the palms up give you a sense of receiving and softening because you're not pushing against the ground. You're surrendering to it. We won't be here for too long, but be here now. Last 5 breaths here. The end of your 5th breath, keeping the eyes nice and soft, just gently begin to lift the head, planting the hands, and again, stacking the spine until you come up to seated. We're going to be doing a gentle heart opener. So if you have your towel, you're going to be placing the towel towards the top of the mat. If you have a block or are using a block, you're going to put it on its lowest point. down onto the mat. And we're going to lay back, and you want the block to be right between the shoulder blades. So you may have to kind of scooch up or down onto the block or the towel to make it feel comfortable. But I promise once you get there, it feels oh so good. Now, a couple of options with the legs. You could keep the knees bent. You could extend the legs out. You can open the legs out with the legs being extended, or we could come back into butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet together to touch with the knees splaying out wide. Whatever posture you choose, make sure it's one that is totally and completely relaxing. If you know butterfly pose gets a little too intense on your inner thighs and it is, you kind of fidget quite a bit in this pose, don't do that. Do the one where you could really surrender yourself to the pose itself. Now the arms, again, you have a couple of options. If you want to work into the chest and the heart, we could bring the arms up and just allow them to gently be separated from one another. This may feel good. If this is too much, you could bring your arms out into a T, either with the palms facing up or the palms facing down. Just kind of play with what feels good here. And then lastly, you could just totally allow yourself to be in a Shavasana-like pose and just marinate in this goodness. Once you've chosen your pose, taking a couple deep full body breaths in through the nose. Vocal exhale out. Another deep full breath in. And vocal exhale out. Noticing if you're carrying any tension in the toes or the fingers. Notice if you're relaxing the low back and the glutes. And just allow yourself to be held. You are completely supported, now and always. Surrender yourself to being supported. Surrender yourself to being guided. Those of you who want to stay in this pose, I encourage you to do so if it feels good. For those of you who are moving with me, begin to take 5 deep breaths into the heart center, into the heart space. At the top of your inhale, hold the breath. Gently release the breath. Another inhale once again into the heart. Notice the heart lift, hold. Release. 3 more times, your pace, your breath. Of your 5th breath, just slowly bending the knees, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat. Then gently rolling over off of your block or your pillow, coming into fetal pose on the right. And then maybe removing the block or towel that you had underneath you and just taking a moment here to feel. On your next inhale, rolling onto your back. If you feel comfortable in fetal pose and want to stay, please do. We're going to take a gentle spinal twist. We're going to open our arms out into a T, scooching our hips over towards the right, crossing our right leg over the left, and gently coming onto our left hip. Gaze could be up towards the ceiling or over the right shoulder. 3 breaths here. Inhale, back to center. Uncrossing the legs, this time scooching the hips over towards the left. Left leg over the right, dropping the knees towards the right. Again, gaze is up towards the ceiling or over the left shoulder. 3 breaths. Coming back to center, bringing the knees in towards the chest, thanking your body. I thank you for being here with me tonight. And thanking the universe for bringing us all together here tonight. Your love donations are appreciated. So before we step into Shavasana, I'm just going to allow the whole entire class to kind of end on a quiet note. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you being here with me and sharing your energy with me. Gently release the legs down the length of the mat. Right heel towards right lower corner of the mat. Left heel towards left lower corner of the mat. Allow the heels to flop in, the toes to flop out. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back.